Am I audible now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, we shall look into the essential part of shell programming topic. So this is of a very special interest for us now. How we can automate many things with the help of shell script. As we discussed in the previous class, any sequence of shell commands can be written in or arranged in a meaningful way in a text file, and after that we can execute it at one go. Generally, this is very handy for system administrators where they want to manage so many things within a Linux system, as well as for a normal users also sometimes. So many times it is easy to, if you want to repeat some tasks again and again, you can write that particular sequence of shell commands in a text file with the help of a text editor, save it as a script, as a text file, then you have to give execution permission for that particular text file and execute it. In the last class, we have seen how to execute one very simple shell script. Now we'll step by step we'll go into the details of how to write a shell script. First of all, whenever any shell command or the shell script, if you want to write, you need to make use of an editor, and after that start writing shell commands. Say for example, any shell program, you can start with the hash and exclamatory symbol. This is normally the first line in case of a very standard shell script. In this particular line, we can define what is the shell command or what is the shell program you're going to use, whether you're using bash or sh or any. So you can define that. Let's say, for example, you can write it /bin/bash. Here so my intention is to say that this particular script need to use bash shell script for its execution. So #:bin/bash, you can write it. Then you can start a line with the hash command, and you can here it's very much equal to a comment line. It's something like a comment line in a C program. So you can write some description regarding what is this particular script is and what is the purpose of using this, etc. You can mention it. So in that particular case, now say for example, here you can write the file name, or if you want anything you can write. You can write your name also, author, something like that, script.sh. You can write samples. There is no syntax here except a hash line. After hash, everything is treated as a comment, sample shell script. You can put it in this particular way. You can make use of it in a program. Then after that, you can write shell commands as per requirement. Say for example here, echo. Then you write within the double quote also you can write here. What is the purpose? I will tell you. Echo. Then you say today's date is the shell, something like a printf command here. Echo shell date, then colon. Assume that in this line you want to print today's date from the system. So now what you can do here in this case is that you can use the date command, shell command. Now you can write this particular symbol. This we call it as a tilde. Generally it is there in the right tab key, above tab key. Above tab key there is a key with this particular character. Within this command you can write the shell command, that is the corresponding shell command date, close the tilde, then close the echo statement with the double quotes. Then similarly you can mention, say for example, you can write echo. Here you can write this month's calendar. You can write colon and you can close the echo symbol here. Then if you want to display calendar, we know the shell command is cal. And again you can define it, configure it, like in case if you want date, the format in which you need to display the date, month. You can write plus %m. Try this also. Then you can write 20% y. Just find out and close the tilde symbol. And in case if you want to print some other information like my shell program is, or my shell is, you can write here in this way. Then you can print in a $capital shell. Now this is a sample shell script. You can use a text editor. Using a text editor, you can type this as it is. See, there is one shell command here, echo. And also, say for example, date. Individually also you can type in near the shell program, shell window, in the terminal window, these commands. But I am going to print it in a user-friendlier way. It will say today's date, this month's calendar, etc. in a very systematic way, or in a customized way. You can display these particular commands, date, month, year, etc. Similarly, shell program, echo, my shell is $shell. This is how you can write a sample script, shell script. You can name it, say, you can give any name to it. Remember that there is no restriction on that. You can give any name, but generally, if you are a system admin and if you want to differentiate between your shell script and other text files, general practice is that give some file name, something like this, script1. Then extension you can give sh. It's not optional. You can give any extension for that matter. It's not compulsory. Script.sh. If you give customize this name in this, you can easily differentiate between a shell program and a normal C program or C++ programs or some other text files in a very simple or in a easier way. That depends on you about how to display or how to name a file, name a shell script. And the next part is about the different commands which can make a shell program more interactive. You have written many C programs, then you know how to write a C program in an interactive way. You can write your scanf and printf commands, comments, etc. in a systematic way so that during the execution of the program, for the user it will be very convenient to use the program, how to use it, etc. And in any normal program, whenever we say program, user want to enter some values to the computer. You want to give some input and after that processing, he want to display, or sorry, he want to get some result. To help this, in any programming language, it is very important to understand or important to remember different ways of inputting the values to the computer. Even in the shell script or in the Linux shell scripts also provides support for reading values into the computer as well as displaying some result out of computation in a very user-friendlier way. Now let us discuss all those commands or all those issues, features of a shell programming step by step. First of all, we start with how to make. We think about, we need to look into how to. Okay, now after writing shell script, one more point, I mentioned it in the last class also. Your shell script name is script.sh. Now, immediately after you create this text file and edit content, edit some content and save it, there will be some file permissions for it. Now, this script, this shell script, you want to execute. To execute that, in the command line, generally, this is the dollar is the command line. Say, for example, you need to execute the program in this way, / and script name, or else you can use the command called sh script.sh. This is also okay. But to work on this, you must have execute permission. For the file, for script. So you have to ensure that before executing the script, you must possess this particular execution permission, at least for you. So how to get execute permission, how to ensure that you have an execute permission? You can always check with the ls-l and file name or the script name, and you can find out what is the permission you have. If permission is not sufficient, so in the command line, you can write chmod. For the user, you must get read, write, execute permission. So you can ensure it by writing 7 here, 700 at least, or else even 77 is also okay. So you must possess suitable file permission. Now you know what is this permission structure is. This 7 stands for binary 111, binary equivalent, read, write, execute permission for user, group and others. Similarly, this 0 as of now stands for, this also stands for read, write, execute permission. Decimal 0 is nothing but 000. Read permission is not there, write permission is not there, and execution permission also banned from the group. This is for group, this is for user. Okay, for user, and this last digit also. So first digit stands for user permission, second digit is for group permission, 0 for others, so last digit is for others. This is the permission structure. We are familiar by now about this chmod command, and then write the file name script.sh. By writing like this, you will get execute permission. Then you can execute it in this way, or else you can execute the program by writing the second command. So these are the two options you have to execute a shell code, shell program. So any doubts you can ask here about this. Remember, any syntax, the first 2 lines here, here you can define what is the shell program. In case if you want, there are, when I say different shell program, there are Linux basically supports for different shells like CSH, SH, KSH, the bash, etc. are the different shell programs. Many a time we work with the bash. Here, once if you are get the familiarization with any one of the shell environment, then you can try to explore other shell environments also to find out any additional features, whatever you need. Okay. So here you are selecting, in the first line you are basically selecting what is the shell environment you would like to use, then writing the program. This is about how to write a simple shell program, general syntax for a shell program, and how to arrange different commands, etc. And after that, how to change the permission, how to get the execute permission, and after getting execute permission, how to execute a shell script. After studying these basic stuffs, then let us look into some of the commands which we will use in future regularly while writing shell scripts to make the program more interactive. One of the command we would like to explore is read, R-E-A-D. Remember, all shell command uses only lowercase characters. We are not using capital letters while writing shell command. That is a feature, one of the characteristic feature of any Unix-like operating systems like Mac or Linux, etc. So you need to remember that. Okay, read is one of the command. It is like scanf. If you want to get some value from the keyboard, you can make use of a read command. It is the shell's internal tool. It is not the Linux command. This particular command is implemented as a part of shell program. Read, automatically it will take the values from the keyboard and it will give to you. Now, how to write this? Say for example, now let us explain it with a shell program, well, a simple shell program. Let me write one simple shell script as I told you before. Hash slash, then you can write some bin slash bash. Then you can write as many number of comment lines you would like to use. You may say shell command name is emp1.sh, some file names. You can write some additional information like this script is written by such and such person. This also can be done. Then you can write one echo command to make the program more interactive. It is like a printf statement, echo. Then you can write, say for example, enter the pattern to be searched. Close it. Then after that, assume that you are going to enter one string called Manipal or something, one pattern. So then you can make use of read command. R-E-A-D, read. You can give some variable name now. CP name. So say pattern name. That's it. There is no semicolon. There is no full stop at the end of the statement. That's very important. Whereas in C program, we often write a semicolon to indicate end of a C statement. Here it is a shell command. It is the shell script. So there is no full stop here or semicolon. Read p name. Then after that you can write one more echo in case if you want to make program more interactively. So you can make it as echo. Then wait a second. One sec, there is a connection issue. Yeah, let me continue. So here after that I can write echo some more additional comments also in case if you want to printf statement. You can write a comment on that echo. Then you can write, say for example, enter the file to be used. So actually we are searching for a pattern in a particular file, searching for a particular string. You can say like this. Then you can write enter file name also, read file name. Then you can use your grep command. Say for example, you can say grep to search for a particular pattern. You are searching for p name is the pattern, and the second argument here is the file name. Yes, this is one shell program now. If you closely look into this shell program, once again I will explain what is happening here. You want to say, for example, you want to search in a particular file called my program.c. You have a program. In this you want to search for a particular string called, say for example, display. If you want to search for a particular pattern called display in file program.c. So what you can do here, so you are going to get that particular string plus what you want to search for. So here from the user command during the execution of the program, you are going to enter a string called display. You are searching for this particular character or this particular pattern in this particular file. Here read file name. At this particular point you are going to give the program the file name my program.c. So what happens here is very much equal to, you can use this command directly in the shell command also with the grep command. So here it is, this is a shell script command line. Now what is happening here? So grep command is going to work. Grep, the first parameter you are going to enter is in this particular say particular pattern display. in file name my program.c. Now write this, save this particular script and execute it. The point is how to write a read statement here. Read and some variable name. Read some variable name. Once if you write one variable name, once if you say read and if you enter some variable name to it, say for example x, you can enter a character, you can enter a string, you can enter a number, everything. Whatever you enter here from the keyboard with the readx command, it will be assigned to x. It will not make any distinction between a number and character. Now, having said that, now this particular value is taken as an input by the shell script x. To display that name, to display that particular variable, you can always say echo $x. Okay, this, and again the advantage is that a single read statement can be used with the more variables or more than one variables. You can also say read x, y, z. That means that you can, then again you can enter in the command line, you can enter 5, 10, 15, that is fine. Or else you can enter first, second, third, some string also. Or you can enter some values, any characters also. Anything you can enter. Whatever you enter, it will take it. It will assign it to the variable, to the so-called variable called shell variable called x. It will not make any distinction or typecasting it like integer, character, etc. C does it. In C is a more customized property. It has got more customization. It will make a distinction between whether it is an integer, floating point, long double, etc., etc. But read command is a very simple command, very direct command as such. It will take whatever you are going to assign to that particular shell variable. Now let me explain next some of the concepts. Like another concept here is using command line arguments. Now, what is command line arguments? That is also to understand it is very important to understand what is command line argument. Let me explain it with the Linux window instead of this. So let us go to the Linux desktop. Whether the screen is visible to you? Anybody? Yeah. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So now, how, say for example, here also I can explain this read command with the, I'll try to explain you. Say for example, if I say some x, what will happen? See, it waits for the value to be taken from the keyboard. Read x. Now assume that I am writing Manipal. Actually now read command is working, read x. Anything can be assigned. Now I am trying to input from the keyboard Manipal. That's it. The value is assigned. How to display the value of x now? Echo type $x. It will say Manipal. Okay, same command we have inserted in a shell script to explain. or to get a meaningful interaction with the computer. Now by using this read command like a scanf command or a print and printf commands, read and echo can be used in a program in a shell script also. Now how to, so we have to discuss about the command line programs. Now say for example here, now I am going to type, so I am going to type on some variables with the, let me write a shell script using v editor, vim, so sh1 dot x. Here I can code any shell program. Let me see. And remember here, so while writing these variables or first lines, look into the syntax very carefully once again. Bash now you check the permission here for this particular simple shell program, sh1 dot x. Any extension you can give. If you want to permission structure, you see -l. You can see that there is no execution permissions given for anybody for this. Now you see what happens when I try to execute this code. It will say permission denied. You don't have a permission to execute that sh1.exe file. That's why you need to because you are the owner of the file. Look into this. This is owner. This is the group permission. Owner and group. So chmod, you can say permission read write execute for user, and you can set anything, but for you should have execute permission. Accordingly, you can decide about your permission structure. Enter this. Now if you try to execute this code, program script is executed. Now script contains one read command, so I entered Now the program is not so interactive because before read I didn't write any echo statement. If I write that, program will become more interactive. See, immediately that once again reflected back. This is how to change permission, etc. And similarly, changing ownership also, that's very important command. Change ownership, change owner, chown command is available. You can give ownership to anybody in a program by writing ownership name. So I can give ownership to any other users. If I want to give ownership to one user called Manu, say for example, what happens here, and group name also, group ownership also to another person, to the same person Manu, then write the file name ch1.exe. As of now, I am the owner. Now I am going to give permission ownership to another person. If I am owner of a file, I can give away the ownership and group membership to anybody. Now see here, the problem is that in this particular case, ownership chown command, operation not permitted. I limited my user's permission. Here is the role of a particular system administration. Any permission for a user account can be restricted. who can use or who can change the ownership permission, etc., etc. So group ownership can be changed with that syntax by getting proper permissions. Now look into who are the users in this particular program. I am the only one user as of now logged in, so I can't give usership to a non-existing user. If there is one existing user in this computer, I can give away the file ownership to him. So you just remember the syntax of how to give away the ownership to anybody in a computer. Now, okay, now coming back to the shell scripts, writing a shell script. Now let us go once again back to our shell script, s1.x. This is the shell script. Now you know, because I entered one string immediately it is displayed back. To make this program more interactive, as in this case of C program, before taking any values, I can use echo command. Say for example, I can say, please enter your name. Make a small change in the script. Now try to execute the program. See, now the program becomes more interactive. Please enter your name. I may say Manmohan. Then it will say welcome to Manmohan. So in this way, program can be made more interactive by suitably coding or nesting together all the commands. Okay, these things are the you need to remember. Now coming back to the command line programs, while executing this particular program, now look into the same program here. Here, look into the way in which I have written execution here. Now say for example, I will execute the same program, sh1.txt. Output is available. Now look into one more interesting variable here. In case if I write echo dollar, look into that very carefully, star. There is nothing, no commands are available here. Similarly, there is one more variable. Note down this environment, the shell variable $star. Similarly, there is one more shell variable you need to discuss about $hash. Now, echo $hash gives you the value 0. It is about a number of arguments passed on to the program in the previous shell script. Okay. Whereas $star is a complete set of positional parameters. What is that positional parameters? That we will discuss it later. $star is one of the useful parameter. $hash, it gives you 0 at present because in this program, while executing the shell program, previous shell program, I have not used any command line input statements. That is the meaning here. Now, how it matters? Similarly, say for example, echo $1, echo $0. See, echo $0 stores is also one of the very important parameter. It talks about shell program. What is the shell program executed in the previous shell script? So it is bash. So these set of variables, and similarly there is another shell variable dollar and a question mark. It says 0. Actually dollar question mark stands for exit status of shell program. Previously we executed one shell program, whether it is executed successfully or executed with some error. If program executed with the error, it will be negative value. Otherwise, in the normal condition, it will give you a 0, normal termination of the previous script. Similarly, echo dollar exclamatory mark is actually about PID, process ID, and these are the different parameters. All these variables, so far whatever I explained to you, all these variables will set to a particular value after the execution of a shell program. Every value means something, it gives some information for the user. Okay. So $1, $2, etc. These are the positional parameters. Similarly, when I say $hash, this stands for number of arguments specified. How many number of input arguments are there is specified by $hash. Question mark talks about the exit status of a program, etc. Using these also, we can get some meaningful programming constructs. These aspects, we can discuss it in the next class. Now, for the moment, I am stopping my class for today. At 10:30, you are going to have your quiz. Okay, prepare for it for a while. You have some 10 minutes with you to browse through whatever is happened in the previous class, as well as browse through the prescribed textbook and prepare yourself for the quiz. If there is any doubt, anything you want to ask? Anybody? Okay. I will stop my class for today. At 10:30 to 10:50, you will have your quiz. Before 11 o'clock, entire process will be finished. Okay, good luck. See you all in the next class.
Thank you, sir.